Who's the best player in the East, Giannis or Embiid?
Well, first of all, I'm going to go with, listen, I will tell you this. There's a two-part answer to this. You can't wiggle your way around it, but there's nothing definitive, Molly. There's no way to go with this. You want to tell me that Joel Embiid is a better talent? I'm down for that. Better back-to-the-back scorer, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't simply try to overpower and dominate you. His footwork is tremendous. His shot-making ability, he's got touch, he's got skills, he's got a three-point shot, he's got a perimeter mid-range game. He's got the entire arsenal. So from a talent perspective, not to mention his size and his willingness to defend and block shots, of course I would go with Joel Embiid as a talent. But resume, as it pertains to dependability, you have to go with Giannis, because Giannis is not only a champion, Giannis is not only, a league MVP, a defensive player of the year, all of this other stuff. Giannis obviously has shown up all the time in the postseason. Even in losses, you still find him getting his. There have been inexplicable performances by Joel Embiid. Not the likes of a James Harden per se, but there have been times where you have found yourself saying to Joel Embiid, what the hell is going on? We need more. Why haven't you given us more? Why can't you give us more in this particular playoff game? And that is not something that I think that we say about Giannis. When Giannis is lacking something, it's something he's always lacking. Giannis not making a jump shot, Monica. Giannis not making a three-point shot. Giannis missing a free throw. These are the kind of things that we say about Giannis on a night-in, night-out basis for the most part, because those are impediments to his success. But what he has to give you, he gives you. And he gives it to you on a much more continuous, consistent, and reliable basis. And because of that, you have to take that into consideration. Again, pure talent, Joel Embiid, to me, all day, every day. As a talent perspective, I don't care whether it's Kareem, it's Shaq, it's Wilt, it's Bill Russell, it's George Mikan, it's Bill Walton. The list goes on and on. As a talent, Joel Embiid is one of the greatest talented big men this game has ever seen. He's on par with anyone, but the resume does not compare to that of Giannis Antetokounmpo, because Giannis Antetokounmpo has proven to be more reliable.
So, Stephen A., I'm going to just take folks a little bit behind the curtain on the show, right? We prepare. We get a text this morning. Josh Kramer, one of our terrific producers, texts me, Mon, Giannis or Joel. I'm with you. I was kind of like, it doesn't matter? Like, this is a toss-up in my mind. This is very close. Like, what are we trying to achieve in this conversation? Because I love the way that you broke that down. Resume versus talent. But I'm actually willing to give the talent nod slightly to Giannis Antetokounmpo as well, just because I think the versatility of his athleticism and the way that he plays the game of basketball. Now, don't get me wrong, Joel Embiid can knock down a three-pointer. He can handle off the bounce a little bit in space, but just the sheer force of Giannis going coast to coast, to me, is something that truly differentiates him. Last night, he had 32 points in the paint, which is, unheard of. And then I think back to last year. Joel Embiid, worthy of the MVP, certainly, but you could really have made the case last season that that was still Giannis's award, potentially averaging 31 and 11 as well. And so over the duration of his career, I'm not going to hold injuries against anyone, but there have been more moments, I think, that we hang our hats on when it comes to Giannis Antetokounmpo. In particular, closing out that championship for the Bucks, going from an subpar average free throw shooter to knocking down the biggest free throws of his career and stepping up in that moment. So right now, I'm with you. I think that is Giannis as the best player in the East, but this is a very thin margin in terms of the conversation, and it's going to be an exciting season.
Third career regular season game, scoring 50 or more points with 75% shooting, grabbing 10 boards. Is also only the 18th instance in NBA history of a player putting up those numbers. But Giannis was the first one to ever do it in a loss. So we have to remember that. We also have to remember only Wilt Chamberlain has more career games than Giannis, scoring 50 points and 75% shooting with 10 rebounds. 10 rebounds he's got. Wilt Chamberlain had 8, God rest his soul. But in the end, Eminem, I'm going to tell you this. You done lost your mind. You cannot sit up there and say that Giannis is more talented than Joel Embiid. He don't have that kind of arsenal. He don't have that kind of arsenal. He just does. Listen, again, you don't lose with either. But he don't have Joel Embiid's arsenal. That arsenal of talent offensively. He does not have that.
So let's go through the arsenal. Let's go through the arsenal. You're talking about Joel's ability.
Let's go through it.
So you're talking about Joel's ability specifically to turn his back to the basket and score in the traditional post way as a major differentiator. And his ability to not
Hold on. Stay.
I'm asking.
Fall back. Hold on for one second.
Back?
Stay with me. Stay with me.
I'm with you.
I'll give it to you and then I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you and then I'll give it to you. Joel Embiid, ball handling skills. Giannis ain't a superior ball handler. Joel Embiid's passing. Giannis is not necessarily a superior passer than Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid, back to the basket in terms of the arsenal. I'm not talking about simply overpowering because we know Embiid could do that too. But I'm talking about footwork, movement. Think Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. Think about his movement, his footwork. Joel Embiid has that more than Giannis. Joel Embiid blocks shots. He's not the gazelle that Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak, is. He doesn't run up down the court with the speed that Giannis does. They play a different brand of basketball. But in the end, when you talk about a big man that you give the ball to in the post area, who, by the way, can step away from the basket and hit a mid-range game, who, by the way, can step away from the basket and hit a three-point shot, who, by the way, can go to the free throw line and hit those two. There is no question that from an offensive, talented perspective, both are great. Both are phenomenal. Both are future Hall of Famers as far as I'm concerned. I'm not throwing shade on any of them. But Joel Embiid's talent, oh my God, could you imagine if he was as dependable, health-wise, as Giannis? Oh, my Lord. We would be talking about Joel Embiid being in the conversation. He'd have to win, of course, got to win some titles. But we would be talking about him being in the conversation as the greatest big man to have ever played this game. We're not talking about it because he can't get his ass out of the conference semifinals.
Okay.
That's the problem. He got to get to the conference finals and the finals. But talent, not resume. Talent? Oh, no.
It's Friday, and
it ain't even nothing to talk
I don't want you to do so much yelling.
Yes.
But hold on. Let me just submit this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
to you,
I'm sorry.
Right? It's Friday. You in your favorite place. I want you to break it down a little bit.
No. I'm mellow. I'm mellow.
Come on. Because I'm going to be real mellow, too. I will give you the three-point shooting. I'm really thinking through the ball handling. I think in space we have seen Joel Embiid attack differently from the perimeter, but I don't think the margin on the ball handling is as wide as you make it seem. I do want to give you a few numbers on assists. Let's just go through the last three seasons for both of them as far as assists are concerned.
Yep.
So Giannis averaged
go ahead.
5.8 assists in 2021-22, 5.7 assists in 22-23. So far this year at 3.4. Okay. Joel, I got assists here at 4.2 in 21-22.
Okay.
I got 4.2 in 22-23. And I got 5.9 this year.
Okay.
So I also don't think that this playmaking margin is as wide as you submit.
I didn't say it was.
So then why are you doing all that yelling?
Hold on. Let me. I wasn't yelling. I was just being loud because I'm loud.
Okay, why you being so loud?
I get loud, but I'm not yelling. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm Stephen A, baby. That's what I do.
Enough.
But the point is this. Here's the deal. But I apologize. I'm a dollar down.
Let's
Because you asked. All I'm saying to you is this. You brought up those assist numbers. Well, you know what? It's a lot. And even though the numbers are comparable, it's a lot different when you throwing the ball out. Drew Holiday was one of the best catch-and-shoot three-point shooters in the game last season.
So we're about to pick apart their team.
He was playing with Giannis the last 3 years. Brook Lopez can shoot some threes. When we look, Tyrese Maxey could ball hitting threes this year, but that's not necessarily his forte. Tobias Harris can score, but he's not necessarily a three-point shooter. When we look at some of the things that the Sixers do and how they evolve their offense around Joel Embiid compared to what Milwaukee did, you had Giannis bringing the ball up the court half the time to try to force teams to play downhill under Budenholzer. That doesn't mean that Joel Embiid is an inferior offensive talent. I'm telling you right now, Giannis don't have in his arsenal. If Giannis could shoot like Joel Embiid, free throws, mid-range, threes, if he could shoot like Joel Embiid, he'd have 2 titles already minimum.
I'm not going to argue.
He's not
about
that often. He's not Joel Embiid.
Okay, and that's all I'm saying to you is that the shooting is the only real differentiator to me in terms of their skill set. That's all
To
I'm
be
saying.
continued, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal. It's a big
All right.
deal.
Well, let's go back to overall resume,
Those who
like
can
you
shoot
said. You and
versus
I
those who
agreed
can't.
initially.